Welcome to the Ed Answer Key, the podcast where in the time it takes to complete hall duty and attendance, we embark on an educational adventure for both teachers and families. So whether you're a seasoned educator or a family navigating the school system, buckle up for the Ed Answer Key.
Positive self-concept. Whether it be, I could say, from a teacher's standpoint, I think that's more like a self-efficacy type of thing, a positive self-concept of whether we feel good about who we are and how we handle things. I think that comes into my teaching because, a lot of times, what you're doing in those little silos of your classrooms, you've got to feel extremely confident in what it is that you're doing for those students. Now, when you're with your colleagues, you may shy away from that. But I feel like what I'm bringing to the classroom is a value add to my students. Like I truly do. The way that it's set up, the way that it's being executed, the way that it's being assessed, I feel like that is a positive value add to my students. On the student standpoint, that positive self-concept can be extremely significant in how they perform as far as in schools.
I agree with what you said about what you bring to the classroom and how that spills over. And I think that helps students with their positive self-concept because I can think of several students that I've had in the past, like the shy ones, and then they come back to me and they say, I know you were forcing me to go up there to help me with my shy, and it finally worked. Or I'm still a little shy, but I'm so much better. You helped build my confidence. I've had students that, I knew they struggled in a certain area, and I'm like, okay, you're going to do this problem or you're going to explain this. And they did what they had to understand. So knowing that you have that confidence in them helps build up their positive self-concept as well. So what you bring spills over into the students to help them overcome barriers and be more successful.
Okay. How can that translate? How can we create that safe space for our colleagues? They're relatively new, but they don't want to make a mistake. And so I see how they're instructing their students. How can a teacher create that safe space, or how can we create that safe space for our colleagues?
I've always created transparency with my kids. And because of the mistakes that I make and I'm very open with them about, over like this last loop that I just had, they got so much better at just taking it and asking about it,
When you say it, what do you mean?
My mistakes.
Okay.
And so they were able to make their mistakes and ask about them.
Okay.
And there's this kid and he used to sleep all the time, only because I did not start challenging him the way that I needed to early on. That was the problem. But he would wake up out of his sleep to correct me whenever I was wrong. And he used to make my day every single day because I knew he was listening. and he'd teach me something. And then I would have to go to my counterpart, across, like the other math teacher on the team.
Yep.
And usually we religiously co-plan. So usually I would have to go tell him about the mistake to see if he caught the mistake. And then, for the rest of the day, we could manage. And the way that I went about taking criticism from this kid, the kids felt more comfortable when making mistakes. The other teacher that I work with on team, he made me feel comfortable about making mistakes. In my head, I just let it get to me that, I have to be perfect. But seeing him make mistakes and us laughing about it, us comparing answers, in the morning just to make sure we're good for the day.
Yep.
And, he makes the mistake and I didn't. Like, it makes me feel that I'm more than my mistakes, but I can learn from them. And it bled onto my kids. It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. That's why we're with our kids. We can teach them that we made the mistake. Now we have to fix it.
Yep.
Mistakes are okay.
Thanks so much for joining us for this episode of the Ed Answer Key. Your support means the world to us. Be sure to stay in the loop about upcoming topics by downloading our free podcast companion at www.edanswerkey.com. So until next time, class dismissed.